seen the path he's had to take and the all that he's had to do.
What's going on, y'all? My guy, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear, loud and clear. We back at it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Before we bring the guest in, I just want to welcome you guys back to Network is My Net Worth. Today, we have an amazing guest, Ashley, superstar fashion designer and owner of Raya Marie Designs. We're going to get into some questions with her and talk to her about building her brand and some interesting little things and moves I've been seeing her make and getting her feedback, bro. You excited for that?
Man, I'm excited. Anytime we got a guest on, I'm excited, man.
I'm with it, man. Let's give me a second here. Excuse me, guys. I'm literally pulling back in town from working. The grind don't stop. Let me
I
get
see you
her.
booted.
Oh yeah, you already know. Hold on. Let me see here. I'm trying to add her in.
Golden Brand CEO Sass. Good evening. Good evening, fellas.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to bring. Is she still in the comments?
Look at the top and then hit the arrow down.
Oh, back. Cool. All right, let's bring her in. Should be loading her up.
Hello.
What's going on?
How
Good
y'all doing?
evening.
Good, good, good. Okay, I see the flex immediately. With you logging in from the space, I
You
see it.
already know. You already know.
We appreciate you. Thank you for blessing our platform and jumping on. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
All right, bro. I'm gonna bogard you out on this one. I wanna jump in with my question. So
Yeah, go ahead.
I
Kick
I,
it off.
I got some like before we get into exactly what you do, because I want to give you the platform to say that. I see this post on your page that I've been looking at and it's had me captivated for days now, where you talked about starting your business in 2014 in an
Yes.
apartment,
Yes.
and to see where you're like, and you chronicle it, for those who watch, you chronicle it up until 2018, which is when the post was, but now we're in 2021.
Hmm.
And I wanted to ask you, because what I read into what I saw was, I feel like you manifested the growth of where the business was going to go over the last 7 years, but that was assumption. I wanted to ask you, from that moment in 2014, like, all right, I got to figure out if I got proof of concept and if this is real, to where you are now. Talk to me about what got your mindset and yourself as an entrepreneur.
Well, honestly, what got me here is nothing but God. Let me start with that. Um, Definitely, I manifested this from day one. I always knew I was going to be big, but I did not imagine on this level. Definitely not. What really got me here is being consistent, determination, the desire to want more for myself, for my kids, for my family, for my mother, everybody around me. I wanted more for them. I wanted to show them more. I wanted more for myself. So I feel like what got me here was my desire and not moving out of fear. Because sometimes, we kind of move out of fear, like, oh, I got to do this. I got to hurry up and do this. I was real, real patient. like extremely patient. I waited my turn, and I'm here. I'm here now.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And it's someone who I give direct belief in my business from God. Like my personal business wouldn't be where it is. So I can understand that and I respect it now. I had to get that off, but now let me go back and do this the proper way. So let's start off. Lee, talk to everybody in the comments. Talk about who you are, what you do.
I'm not gonna really respond to the comments right now.
Oh no.
I will get distracted, but I see everybody. Hey.
Well, give us an overview of you and your business, what you do.
Okay, so I'm Ashley Nikki. A lot of people think my name is Raya Marie, but it's not. My name's Ashley. I started my business in 2014. I actually started out wanting to make clothes for myself because I could never really find clothes to fit me how I wanted them to fit me right. So I was like, I'm just going to make my own stuff. And I really got inspired by this girl, Angel Brinks. I don't know if y'all are familiar with her. She's a designer. I actually bought some of her stuff back in 2013. And I was like, well, if she can do this, I could do it too. So I started making my own stuff. Not really at that time thinking I'm going to be selling things, just really more for I'm making it for me. So at that time I was working in a call center, and plenty of women there working with me. And I would wear my stuff to work and they would be like, well, where'd you get that from? I'm like, I made this. So then they were like, well, make me one. So I'm like, okay. Then I saw like, okay, I'm getting about $40, $50 some extra change just to do what I already like to do anyway. So it kind of just started from there. I did literally start sewing. I had a house in Texas, and my room was big enough to where I could fit my sewing machine and a little table. So I was like in my room sewing after work, staying up late, getting up early, taking care of my kids, everything like that. So I had to kind of like make the time, not really going out partying and all of that. So that's kind of how I started and how I started building. And not only the people at my job, also people out in the street. So once I kind of got people out in the street just kind of like, oh, where'd you get that from? I made it and I'm taking orders from them. That's when I knew I had something. Oh, and another thing too, at that time, Instagram had kind of just started, I think. There was no Instagram business page. There wasn't, you could put your website in the bio. Mm-hmm. I was literally organically building this business. I made an Instagram page. I post pictures. I would have to like type my my website in the comments, and I started getting orders. And that was it from there.
Hey, I got a question. I got to jump in right quick because she mentioned Instagram, right?
For sure.
Even though this is kind of out of order, because I wanted us to actually start from the beginning, where we are. But you speak about Instagram, and the early parts of Instagram. You put your business page up there. You got 135,000 followers. Like, that's huge. That's not something to gloss over. Definitely salute to you. Congrats.
And I took that from zero.
I was going to ask you, so what would you say contributed to you amassing such large base of followers? And for those who out there looking to grow their business page, what type of tips would you recommend and suggest?
So I get asked that a lot. Because I forgot to mention, I also have Raya Marie Academy, which is where I teach other up-and-coming designers and seamstresses. I teach them as well. So I do get asked that question a lot. And honestly, it's kind of hard to answer because, like I said, I started back in 2014. Wasn't no Instagram business profile. Wasn't no algorithm. It was just straight up you hustling, you posting your pictures, putting your website and all of that, and making sure when people log in, you're the first thing they see. Now it's a little different. It's a little tricky. You got to kind of play games with Instagram, which I don't like. But right now, I would say for me, well, it's kind of hard to say for somebody started out because, like I said, I started on a different level. But if I had to give anybody some tips, I would say be consistent. You should be posting at least 3 times a day, at least about 20 times in your story if you really want to get your name out there. Be different. a lot of times we see people doing the same exact thing as another business. So I would say, you know, be different. Find something that makes you stand out. Find your own lane, and just don't give up. Keep going.
Love it.
So my next question is, going through and just watching your growth, watching the comments under folks, you know, under photos that you post or whatever the case may be. It seems like the designs you create physically resonate with your customer base in a way where they see you. Like, to me, I feel like you're as talented as any other designer that may be in a major retailer or whatever the case may be. So long-term vision, like obviously you got the commercial space, you know, do you see yourself as wanting to go and be direct competition for them? Or is it just about enhancing your brand and building from there, and whatever comes?
I honestly don't think I want to ever really be in a retail store or anything like that. To me, it's kind of almost like I'm an artist and this is my art and I'm selling my art, if that makes sense, versus me being like selling wholesale clothes, if that makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm basically just selling my art. So I want to kind of keep it that way. I want to keep my stuff exclusive. So I don't ever really see myself going that direction. But I do plan on opening more stores.
I think that's awesome. I see the vision in that. I'm a real estate guy, so it really intrigued me in seeing you bought the building that your storefront was in.
Yeah.
And I want you to continue to obviously talk about, because we want to get into more fashion questions, but I wanted to mention that to you from a business perspective, because to me, that's huge.
Yeah.
Because that's how you build your brand. It's your space. You're no longer paying someone else. And I can see where I feel like your vision is going. Talk to me about what you feel, or talk to us, excuse me, about what led you to making that decision, because you're successful. You didn't have to buy that building. I mean, you can just keep making your clothes.
I didn't have to buy it. Shout out to my husband. I'm pretty sure he's on here. He's the reason. He's into real estate. And when I first got this place, I was like, I want to tear down all these walls. I want to do this. I'm going to do that. He was like, He said, you don't own that. You do all that to that building, you're putting money, you're increasing the value on somebody else's stuff. He said, you wait. He said, and then I talked with the owner and I bought it from him. And that's really all my husband doing, honestly. I knew nothing about buying anything.
That is so awesome. And in talking to your husband, it's so funny how when you speak to him, he talks about your direct influence on his business, and then vice versa to hear from you. So that's awesome, bro. I'm gonna hand it off to you.
Okay.
I want to give you a chance to get your questions in. So what's your next question, bro?
Yeah, you know, big salute to CEO Sass, man. You know, we had him on. So for anybody who's looking to hear about her husband's story, who had the influence on her buying this real estate property business that she's in, man, go check him out. He's a dope person.
Yes, and follow him and take that class too. Got to cut you off. Follow CEO Sass on all platforms.
Follow Design House Fabrics.
Follow Design House Fabrics as well, and sign up for his class, his new business, Liquidated Me LLC. Yep. Take that. I know this guy personally, and he's giving out a ton of gems. I'm sorry, bro. I just had to take a commercial break.
It's all good. It's all good. You know how we flow. Okay. All right. So I like for the viewers to get a backstory, right, of you know, successful individuals, people who's making major moves, because not always were you at this point in your life. Some people look at you for where you are right now and say, man, I can never get there. I can never be that. You know, she's just so far away. Like, I don't have that talent. Look at the situation I'm in right now. Yeah. If you could talk a little bit about your childhood, your upbringing, you you know, where did the entrepreneurial spirit come from? Because typically us, not business owners, but entrepreneurs, it stems from something in their childhood. Maybe they were selling candy, doing hair on the side, cutting long at 12 years old. So give us a little piece about your childhood.
So just a little piece, because I was thinking about that. And I thought about it. I'm like, well, what was I doing back then? And I remember me and my sister used to do braid hair. We used to braid hair in front of my mom's house. $25, come get your hair braided. So that kind of, I guess that's just one thing I used to do. But other than that, there wasn't really anything like entrepreneurial in me. I was always a hustler though. Like I would go to work. If they say overtime, I'm getting all the overtime. You hear me? All of it. They'll always say, oh, Ashley, she gonna do all that overtime. Oh, I sure am. So that's always been in me to work hard. I think I kind of got that from my mom because I always saw her working hard, like always. So I probably got that from her. And then fast forward, I think I was doing pharmacy technician work. I was working for a company. I was doing a whole bunch of overtime. And then that kind of shifted into this. So, I mean, it's weird. I can't really think of anything like in my childhood that made me say like, I'm going to do this. Like I had no idea this is what I want to do. I think it's just a gift from God, honestly. And he did not give it to me until I was ready.
So to that, you made an amazing point, and I want to get your thought on it. So to me, coming from, so my background is in finance. I've been a full-time entrepreneur coming up on 3 years now. And what I tell entrepreneurs when I talk to them, and what I heard in what you just said was the same way I hustled when I worked for someone else is the same way I hustle when working for me. And I wanted to get your thoughts to see if you agree, because I feel like that mentality of I'm gonna get all the overtime and all of that, that you may not have known it at the time, but to me, I feel like that's a direct representative of what entrepreneurship is.
I believe so too. Like you said, it kind of has to already be in you. But I'm not going to say that it's always there. Sometimes something happens along the way and you're like, oh, I don't never want to go back to doing that. I'm going to make sure I do this, this, and this. You know what I mean? So sometimes it may not be in the person at the moment. Because I would say, yeah, I was doing that at overtime, but I never thought to step out on faith and try to do my own thing.
Gotcha.
That kind of came to me to a point where, like I said, where I was ready. I mean, I remember times I would be at work and I'd be in the parking lot crying. I don't want to go in here. You know what I mean? So you kind of have to get pushed to that point. Some people, they start off young and it's in them. So for me, I was kind of like pushed into it.
Awesome, bro. I'll hand it back off to you. No. That was a great answer, and thank you for the previous answer, because I think what I've learned from the moment I personally stopped working is people assume when you're not working for an employer that it's like, man, it's new, you chilling, eating sandwiches,
oh no,
watching TV, and it's like, nah, I work more now than I've ever.
Absolutely, yeah. I remember times, well, before I had help, because I do have a team now. But before that, I remember times where I would be going off for 2, maybe 3 hours of sleep. Sometimes I'd be up at my store sewing 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, not going home 12, 1 o'clock the next morning. So we definitely work harder, I feel like, personally.
Yeah. Big facts. So all of us, we're all entrepreneurs full time, as business owners, and we all have that corporate America background. Seems like, that's the theme. For myself as well as Jay, we kind of got to the point where we were just sick and tired of working, and just took the leap of faith. You speak a little bit about, you were in a car crying, talking about, you don't want to go in this place. Was it because you were at a point where you hated your job and wanted to do something else, or was you at the point in your business where, you had it as a side hustle and it was growing so big that you would rather put all of your time into that?
It was kind of a combination of both. it was kind of getting overwhelming, me having to go home and do all these orders and then turn around and go to work. I also have, well, at that time I had 2 children, so I had to make sure they were good. So being a mother, going to work, trying to do this on the side, it did get overwhelming. And then it was just, I kind of felt like it was God talking to me, like, well, before I was that day, I'll never forget that day. But before then, I would always, you know, kind of hear God talking to me. It's time for you to move on. Time for you to move on. And I just wouldn't, you know. I would still just go to work like, it's not time yet. It's not time yet. And then that day, I just broke down. A couple days later, I got fired and never looked back.
This is so I gotta, and I don't know, I think we've shared it on here before. If not, he'll kill me later, but I gotta share a funny story with you, Ashley. So my co-host, we met years ago in our career, just starting out, like early 20s. And I'll never forget, I had moved on, was doing something else, and I got a call from him one day, and all I could hear is like casino noises in the background, right? And I'm like, what's going on? He like, yeah, so I decided to go to the casino on lunch break. I don't think I'm ever gonna go back to work. And I was like, wait, what? So I had to step out because I'm at work. So I got to step outside of work. And I'm like, wait, like, yeah, well, you know, wife knows I'm here and you know I'm here. And you know some people that work with me. So if anybody calls and asks, you know, just let them know I'm probably not going to come back. And it was like, so when you said that, you know, I laughed and it resonated with me because like that was his point from the outside as a friend looking, where it was like, nah, you know, I'm not gonna do it. And my solution was, you know, the company I worked for was moving out of state and offered me an opportunity to move, and it was like, you can walk away or you can move. And you know, my wife had been saying, you know, you've been making so much money for so many others for years, like you got to do something for you. So it's very interesting to hear your story in terms of getting to that point and being pushed and moved into that direction.
Yeah.
So talk to me. I want to get into and get your thoughts in terms of your design style. My fashionista, the person I get my advice from, is my 14-year-old daughter.
Oh.
So I sent my daughter to your site, and she was like, but I need this, but I need that. And I'm like, you going to the 8th grade, fam. Like, I don't know, like, okay, graduation, yeah, but like, I can't just buy you formal dresses just to go to school.
Yeah, not yet.
But talk to me about the styles, because what I feel about what I saw in it is, especially for some of your gowns, yes, they may be formal, but there was a level of up-to-date, fashionable where I'm like, you could probably finesse this at a day party or something as well.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get your thoughts. Talk to me about your design.
My designs, I'm inspired by everything around me. I get inspired by other designers on Instagram. I get inspired by, you know, when I go out to eat, I may see something, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make that, but I'm gonna make it my own. So I do get inspired by a lot of different things. And I kind of just let stuff come to me, especially when it comes to my gowns. Like when I'm designing a gown, sometimes it could take me 2 or 3 weeks. Sometimes it may take me 2 or 3 months where I'm coming back to it, switching things up until it's perfect the way I want it. I can always feel when it's perfect and when it's ready for me to show the world. I go a lot based on my feelings. So, like I said, it's my art, kind of like an artist who paints. It's just my art. So you guys are wearing my art basically when you buy it.
Awesome, and I love that you personalize it in a way where controlling your brand and what it stands for matters more to you, it seems, than let me just design something so I can get it in some store that then will give me some sort of social media credit because it's in a store. So I definitely respect your perspective on that. Bro, what's your next question?
So to shift gears a little bit, right? Have you ever experienced as a creative a rut where nothing's coming to your mind, or you're in a tough spot, you don't know what to do, and you had to figure it out as an entrepreneur, as a creative, and maybe days, weeks down the line, boom, the aha moment comes. Like, what did you have to do to get back into it? If you had one of those moments where you felt
as far as like the actual designing process, I personally have never had that type of moment. I more have those moments when it comes to business. So going back again to my, like, how I feel, like I'm a big like feeler. Like if I don't feel right, business ain't gonna go right. So I always try to make sure like I'm in a good mood. I like what I'm doing. So I have had times where I'm distressed to the absolute max. I've had times where I'm like, I'm not doing this no more. You know what I mean? So I have had times like that, and usually I just go back to the drawing board, try to figure out what is it that's making me feel like this, and I eliminate it. It's gone. So just to give an example, I was doing custom designs. So I don't know if you guys are familiar. Custom designs is when you bring me an idea and I sew it. So for me, it wasn't for me. I did that probably for like 2 or 3 years, and it was getting to the point where I just didn't like doing it. People were making me upset. It was just a mess. I don't want to go too far into why, but I had just had the last straw. I was like, I'm not doing this no more. I mean, I was stressed out, and I just, no more. And after that, I was happy. So, you know what I mean? I'm not in this to be stressed out. I'm not in this to be miserable, because that will reflect on your brand. I'm in this to, like I said, I'm an artist. I'm in this to feel good, to live my life, to be free, not have any restrictions, not be stressed out. So if something's stressing me out, it's got to go.
Understood. So I want to get some info from you about the academy and what you're doing, but I want to ask. So we live in a world from an entrepreneurship perspective where very few people want to share what's made them great, right? So you're building this brand. You started it in 2014. You build it from nothing. Why start an academy? Why give back? You don't have to do it. It don't take anything from the creations that you're selling to your client base that loves your work. So why would you do that in an era when people feel like, well, maybe if I give you a game, you'll take what I taught you and quote unquote outdo me?
I'm glad you asked me that, because actually in the fashion design industry, it's not common for other designers to teach an up-and-coming designer. I actually started it because when I was up and coming, I would reach out. This is when Instagram started getting like really big. I would reach out to other designers who I felt like, had more knowledge than me. Maybe were on another level that I was trying to get to, and they would not help me. They wouldn't help me at all. And I remember how that made me feel. And I always said, I'm not going to make anybody else feel like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, I'm going to teach people, because didn't nobody teach me, and I know they probably not teaching them, so I'm going to be the one to teach. And so that's kind of why I started it. Honestly, yeah.
Awesome. And to your point, I've found that in my own journey as well. That especially, it may have bothered me in the beginning, I'll be honest, in my own personal journey, but over time I started to realize that some of those people that didn't want to assist may have felt like I had the talent needed to be better.
Yeah.
So it's a compliment. So to your point.
Yeah. Looking back, it's a compliment. And I just want to say, looking back, those people who didn't help me, I've surpassed them. So I see why they didn't.
I think that may be just a common trend in business, period. Like no one wants to create competition for themselves.
Yeah.
So, you know, people who may be trying to hold everything, because I don't want to give you anything because you might win and surpass me. People with that mind frame, they're typically not going to give game. It seems like the people who's confident about themselves and their business, they're willing to share and give tips because they're going to be great regardless. I can win over in this space. You can win over in that space.
Exactly.
We have 2 gas stations right across the street from each other, 2 supermarkets across the street from each other, and we both be successful in our own different ways. So I mean,
I agree, definitely. A lot of people, it's very competitive. I honestly, I don't really see anybody as my competition. That's just not how I view things. If you're a designer, you're a designer. You have your thing, I have my thing. I'm building my own lane. Nobody can really.
Yeah, it's like
You
like,
can't take it away. You know?
Yeah, you can't take that. That's facts. That's facts. You're in the Atlanta market, the Mecca.
Yep.
The Mecca, the capital.
Black Hollywood.
Yeah, Black Hollywood. When you started your business, was it? I heard you say you were in Texas. In 2014, were you in Texas and then went to Atlanta? Were you already in Atlanta?
So
the business.
When I started, I was in Dallas, and let me see, my son was born in 2016, so we moved here in 2015. So about a year after having my business, we moved here.
Okay, so being as though it's the Mecca, it's the capital, we just talked about competition and you know, other people trying to steal sauce or anything like that. Give sauce, give game. We don't know if it's something that people are relatively trying to do or willing to do. Neither here nor there. Would you say the market is oversaturated down there? Because again, Black Hollywood is tons of designers down there. Is it something where somebody can migrate down there and boom, rather than being in their, you know, own city? Or would you say that the market is kind of super crowded? There's so many designers to pick from that if someone was trying to jump in that lane or build that brand, migrate down Atlanta, that it's going to be a little tough for them because it's already tons of designers?
I would definitely say it's a little oversaturated. Not too much like the hair industry, but it's getting there. All you have to do is be different. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Be your own person, be creative, and find a way to stand out. If it's oversaturated, you got to find a way to stand out. That's with anything. So I would never tell somebody, don't come here. Absolutely not. If you feel like this is the move for you, come, stand out, build your brand here. They spend money here a lot. So I would say come.
So my next question, to the point of what you just were saying, is I feel like Atlanta is one of those places where I want to say talent is what matters. Mm-hmm. So here in the Northeast, I'm going to be transparent and say it's a little bit more pretentious. I may want your design if there is a level of cachet or some sort of clout that I can get in reference to it. I feel like in the Atlanta market, if you make a great product in whatever industry it is, folks are going to do business with you. And it's not about, you can have 100,000 followers, 200 followers, 1 million followers. The product just got to be where it is.
Exactly.
You being in that market, you tell me, am I off base as an out-of-towner, or do you feel like that's how it is there?
That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. As long as, like you said, the talent, your work will speak for itself. And if they like it, they're going to get it. It really doesn't matter if it's a name brand, if you're super, super popular. Because I haven't always been popular, and they've been buying my stuff. A lot of people, honestly, are just now finding out about me. Even with my 135,000 followers, some people still don't know about me. And when they come, They like what they see and they buy. So it's really, you let your work speak for itself, and I don't feel like you would have a problem.
Man, great stuff, great stuff. Look, I'm loving the dialogue. I'm loving the convo with you, that we have it amongst business owners, and, this little Q&A back and forth. What's next? What's next?
When you were breaking up.
I was saying, what's next for the brand? What's next for you?
So what's next? I actually just got a space where I'm going to start manufacturing. Well, I always manufacture my own designs, but I'm taking it to a bigger level. So I bought a bigger space specifically for just creating, sewing, so I can build my team so we can make more product. So just to give an example, I think this was three weeks ago, I hit a big milestone. We made 120 of, I don't know if you guys saw it, the pink dress, the little double ruffle dress. We made 120 of those, and it sold out in like 16 minutes. So when I, thank you. When I saw that, well, I was already getting the space before that. I kind of already saw it coming. But once I really saw that and I saw how quick stuff sells out, I need to make more. I need to make more product so that more people can have the designs and so the business can grow. So I did that also because I want to open another store. So before I can open another store, I got to be able to put product in multiple stores. So I need a bigger space to make more things. So that's what I'm working on now. What else? I'm working on the grand opening. That's August 21st. Well, grand reopening after I remodeled my entire store. Tore down all the walls, made it how I wanted. What else? I am wanting to kind of jump into other things, but I don't really want to speak on that just yet.
Understood. So I want to get, and I don't want you to give your sauce away, but I'll just speak on what I'll just speak on what I heard you say, and we'll leave it there. You talk thoughts. So what I loved was you talked about creating 120 pieces and putting it out there. And when I talk to entrepreneurs, because in my previous life, I would work with a lot of small businesses or businesses that are trying to grow. And the natural thought process is, I want to jump off and do something. Let me come up with as many pieces as I humanly can. Like, let me create 1 million pieces, because if I have 1 million pieces at $4, I make $1 million. And what I heard from you is, in creating that 120 pieces, it continued everything I've heard about your brand, and what I feel like makes what you do special is the exclusivity of it. So by having that proof of concept and putting it out there with 120, that helps give you the knowledge as a business owner to say, okay, so my customer base is feeling this. If I didn't sell through this 120 pieces, maybe I need to go back to the drawing board. Talk about how listening through the actions of your customers is a way where you as a business owner, or any business owner, can move forward. Because I think sometimes for some business owners, they want to do what they think works versus what the consumers are telling, what the consumers will show you from buying your product, what they want and what they don't want.
So typically I'll put a design out in one color. And if they like it, if it sells out pretty fast, I'll just run it back with more. And then I'll run it back in another color with more. And that's kind of how this, which I feel like is becoming my signature style, is the baby doll dress. That's what I call it. So I think I started out with one color. I think we've done maybe like, I want to say maybe 10 to 12 different colors. So if they like it, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna keep doing it, but still make it exclusive. So I let them know, it's limited. It's always limited, because you have to remember, once, if everybody got it, everybody ain't gonna want it. You know what I mean? But if you got 200 people on your website on a drop day at 12 o'clock waiting on the website, you only got 120 dresses, guess what? Somebody's not going to get it. And that means next time, guess what they're going to do? They're going to make sure they on there a little bit earlier. They're going to make sure they type a little bit faster. So it kind of just makes it to where the technical term is fear of missing out. So like you don't want to miss out on it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the marketing technique that I do. But at the same time, I don't do it because I don't want people to have my stuff. I kind of do it that way because I want it to be exclusive. I don't want you to go somewhere and you see another girl with your dress on. I don't want you to go to prom and another girl got your dress on. So yeah,
Awesome.
but to answer your question as far as like listening to your customers, I kind of go based on sales. Sometimes I read the comments and sometimes the comments aren't helpful, but sometimes they are. So I kind of skim through them and see like what color they want next, or what are they asking for. But I definitely do listen to them.
Awesome.
This is going to be up on YouTube as well. So for the YouTube watchers that's doing this, not live, but the replay, if you can, give a formal introduction one more time and where people can find you at if they want to shop with you or buy into the academy.
Okay, so again, my name is Ashley Nikki on Instagram. Designer and business owner of Ryan Marie Design and Ryan Marie Academy. So Ryan Marie Designs is based in Atlanta, but we ship worldwide. And I mean worldwide. I actually just want to put this out there. We shipped to somebody in New Amsterdam for the first time. I couldn't believe it when I saw the shipping label come out. I looked, I'm like, New Amsterdam, like, that just blew me. But anyway.
Amazing.
I've shipped to Australia, New England, Bahamas, Jamaica. So we ship literally anywhere. What else? Ryan Marie Academy. I do teach up and coming designers. I teach you how to sew, teach you about business. I do mentor sessions where I will personally talk to you and specifically give you advice for your brand. But yeah, that's me.
So on you, fam. I want to spend the rest of the time we have just giving you your flowers. So we created this platform because we wanted to, what we were finding from a social media perspective is that everyone has content and a story and value to add once they've become millionaires. And it's, when your followers get to a million followers or more, now you want to talk about all your struggles and what happened. And from the outside looking in, watching and following your brand, you bring people in, and I feel like your customers grow with you.
Definitely.
And I respect, as the husband to an entrepreneur, as a daughter who is an aspiring entrepreneur, I gotta take my hat off to you as not only a business owner, but a wife, a mother, and building what you built from scratch. Because we throw around in popular culture now self-made very loosely. Everybody's self-made without understanding the true definition of self-made. And watching what you built, it's going to be, in my opinion, women like you that have, for my daughter, that they'll be able to look and say, I understand that some of these industries may be male dominated or whatever, but I can come in and carve my niche and I'm just as good as everybody else. So I wanted to share that with you.
Thank you.
I really, 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 really see where your vision is going. And I love that. And I love it so much that we'll have a conversation. I'd love to talk to you about sponsoring somebody to be a part of your academy.
Okay.
So we'll speak on that separately. But I really, truly respect what you're doing. Keep doing it. Keep killing it. And I know just to, I'm gonna make her wait a little bit, but I know my daughter can't wait till I can loose on that site.
Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You never know who's watching you. That's all I can say. It's been times where people, you know, they tell me how I inspire them, and it's just kind of surreal. But I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, we definitely proud of you. You know, salute to you and all your success that you have right now. But this is the tip of the iceberg, I'm sure, as you already know. You got your vision and your future and your plans of where you're going to be at, you know, a couple of years down the line. So we're going to get you back on here.
Okay.
For sure.
Oh, hold on, real quick. Now, I got to do it since she's there anyway. Is there something that is not exclusive or something that's just readily available? Is there a piece you can show us while you're on?
I got some stuff here. What y'all want to see, like a gown or?
Yeah, show us a gown.
Okay, let me see which
I just
one
want.
I show. Hold on.
Thank you for all the viewers for tapping in too. Appreciate you.
Yes, please.
So I hope you guys can see.
Yeah, we can.
So this is actually, it's called the Paris gown, and it's a
Ooh,
feather bottom and sequin lace top,
fire.
full sequin lace on the back. This is more like a formal gown, prom dress. I made it in white for a wedding dress before. So yeah, that's one. I got a bunch of stuff here.
That is awesome. Yeah, I wanted the I'm familiar with the pieces, and of course we want everybody to follow you, but I wanted the viewers to be able to see a piece just so they could see that.
Oh, here, I got another one I want to show you guys. Hold on.
Cool.
Let's do it.
So
Gotta
this is
get-
actually my favorite dress ever.
Oh yeah, that's fire.
Yeah.
Also a prom gown. I hope you guys can see the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
This is
yeah.
my favorite dress. This comes in like 5 different colors. So prom this year, y'all be ready.
Okay.
How long,
Fire.
like what is the labor hours that it takes to put in to, you know, get that type of product that you got?
Okay, so it kind of I do get asked that a lot too. It really just depends on the design. Some dresses, I mean, I've done a gown in like an hour and a half before. Sometimes I know I sew really fast. Some gowns are more detailed, and maybe if I really sat there and finished the whole thing at once, maybe a couple of days to finish. Yeah. So they can be made quickly, especially now that I have a team. Shout out to my team. I think Chanel is on here. She's actually sewing and watching me right now. I don't know if
Wow.
my other seamstress is here, but yeah, nothing would be possible without them.
Shout out to the
Listen,
team.
yes, please. Shout out to the team. Thanks again for joining us. We appreciate you for coming on our platform, and hopefully, we can have you back in the future if you're willing to do it.
Definitely.
To update folks on what you're doing and your vision and your journey, and I
Let's
appreciate having you.
let's do it again once I have the manufacturing place built.
Okay.
Because that's another thing that's being built from scratch. So that can kind of show people, designers, you don't always have to go the manufacturer route. You can become your own manufacturer and cut out the middleman. So let's do that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That's a bet.
Okay.
I got one last thing.
Okay.
You're such a creative. You got an interesting story. You have some fashionable products.
Thank you.
Are you on YouTube, or would you, if you're not, have you ever thought about coming on YouTube, creating a YouTube channel?
I was just, me and my husband were literally just talking about this. I do have a YouTube channel. This is like years and years ago. I still have the page, but there's no videos on there. But me and him were just talking about that literally like a couple days ago, and I think I'm going to go ahead and get it started.
We're gonna be
I
on the
think
lookout
it's
for
Right,
sure.
Primary Designs on YouTube, but there's no videos on there. But you can follow me. I'm going to try to get some content going.
and while we doing it, I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to shame Sass. I know you in the comments. I
Yeah,
need the same from you as well.
yeah,
Put yourself
both
out
of
there,
us.
and it's funny. I told him when he was on his episode that eventually down the line, when you guys got some time, I'd love to see a show where it was you and him, because I feel like you guys have a wealth of knowledge across a ton of different topics, and
Hmm.
it's just so ironic that you guys happen to be married as well.
Yeah.
So I see the vision on that. So we're gonna follow the pages, all of them, and we're gonna definitely have you back once the manufacturer is up and running. And this has been so awesome. Thank you for blessing us with your
Okay.
presence.
Thank you guys, and I wish y'all much success with the show. Brandon used to always watch, and I'm like, what are you watching? What are you watching? And then he was on there. I'm like, oh, so this is what you've been watching every Wednesday. So I'm going to be tuned in now, and thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it, and I'll talk to y'all soon.
All right.
All right, bye.